So I think we got it fixed. It never comes up to me on the first go around. I'm not sure why. So, hello again. Welcome to Conversation Time. This is our Valentine's Day special. Um, like I said, you already know how it works. If you're in here with us, let us know. Comment below. Talk with us. Obviously, it's called Conversation Time for a reason. So we realize some of you guys may be doing your own thing right now. So it might be a little bit less people in here than usual. Um, but anyway, make sure everything looks good. So a few things we were going to talk about today. It's let's see, we've got have has Valentine's Day become more commercialized or commercialized in general? I think it always has been. Um, I've got 5 tips for a happy relationship. I saw a post the other day about submissive in the marriage, and the one that I have to see if I can find it. The one that I sent to you is a little bit over the top, but I wanted to talk on that as well. And then we're just going to give stories from our relationship, and then I've got a card game that you guys should get. It's really fun just to kind of get to know your spouse better on certain things. So let's see. Let's just go right into it. Has Valentine's Day become more commercialized?
I'd say so. With the evolution of Snapchat, Facebook, social media, just in general, I think people put more emphasis on the overall pizzazz that comes with it, just over-the-top gifts, and who can outdo who. I haven't seen too much today. I know in the past, like, people would have dubs, like, flying out of cakes with...
That doesn't sound sanitary.
I mean, I'm over exaggerating, clearly, but just to give reference to the type of gifts that people have been doing, and just going over the top, just to profess love, I guess, in that sense for people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and then you've got your traditional roses, chocolates, and a card. I can tell. I went to Kroger this afternoon. There was a lot of guys in there getting last minute.
Yeah, we always wait till
things.
last minute. Like, I mean, Valentine's Day is the same day every year, but I mean, we wait till the last minute to run out, grab the chocolates, grab the flowers, grab the cards, and put it out there. And they sell flowers everywhere now.
Of course they do.
Any store you can go into, they're gonna have like a little Valentine's Day kiosk just up for people to go in, and like you said, pick up those last minute items.
You can order them and just have them sent to somebody, which I think would be nice. I've always wanted to get roses at work, but I work from
I'm
home.
about to say you work from home. You want
Yeah,
me to
well,
want me to do a call in and have somebody come to the door so we can be surprised? Like, oh, who's at the door?
I mean, it'd
Surprise.
be nice. Anyway, but I also suck at trying to keep flowers alive, so it's kind of a waste. I don't have a green thumb at all. I wish I did, but I don't.
It's all good.
Who's in here with us? Comment for us. Let us know you're in here. So, let me see what else I got. I got my whole little notes right here. So I was looking around just to see about different things that we could find to talk about today, and I saw something, 5 different skills for a happy relationship. Obviously, these are just 5 things that I guess everybody thinks you should have, not necessarily like this is going to be it. You have this, you're going to be good to go, because that's not always the case. So this is from relate.org.uk, so I'm assuming it's a British site.
I don't know how that's gonna relate to us over here in America, but
Well, I'm pretty sure love is universal, so it doesn't
okay,
really matter.
you're right, I guess.
Okay, so the first one is empathy. So listen to understand, not just listen to hear. I always say, whenever we're talking, you say you hear me. And I say, you may hear me, but are you listening? So, yes, don't just listen to hear me. You've got
Listen
to
for comprehension.
listen for comprehension, exactly. Because if you just listen just to hear somebody, then you're really not going anywhere. It's just a waste of both of your times, I think. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Communication. Always they say communication is key, blah, blah, blah. This is the most important thing. Again, also make sure you're listening, you're communicating in a way to get your point across. So if you're afraid to say something to your significant other or your spouse or whatever, then your relationship's not going to be that great. You can't be afraid to speak to your spouse.
Yeah, that probably should have been number 1 on the list.
I don't think these are in any particular order.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, I mean, communication, I mean, it is key. Because if you don't know what's going on, you're not having conversations, not talking about feelings and things, then nothing's going to get resolved. You're not going to know how each of you thinks, each of you feels. So.
Well, I mean, you know, I had a hard time with this in the beginning just because when we first started dating, which we've been together for going on 6 years now.
Has it been that long? Oh, God.
Wow, thanks, man. Thanks. I'm sorry, it just seems like it's been, you know, decades, but
No,
whatever.
I mean, it's just gone by just so quickly.
Don't try
in
to
the blink
save
of an
yourself.
eye.
Don't try to save yourself. No, but I had a hard time trying to open up with you and stuff in the beginning just because in past relationships, I didn't feel like I had a voice, so I just kind of kept everything internalized and tried to deal with it on my own. And obviously that was not the way to go. So, conflict. If there is no conflict, there's a good chance someone is hiding something. No couple is 100% happy all the time. Agree or disagree?
I agree. There's always, I mean, strifes or just stuff that happens throughout the week, month, year that, like I said, nobody's 100% happy all the time. There's always going to be something that comes up, whether, I can't even think of nothing on the topic right now, but there's always something.
Commitment. Willing to work on difficulties together, planning for the future, clarifying and protecting the boundaries that you've agreed on. So the planning for the future is one thing that we've done since we started, I mean, I guess since we started dating. So we'll do something every year. At the end of the year, like usually December or so, we write down the goals that we want to accomplish in the following year. And once that year's over with, we go back and see what all we actually got done. So usually we do pretty good with fixing, you know, reaching just about everything we wrote down. There's things like workout that's on our list every year.
I don't know about you, I hit my goals.
Oh, excuse
I moved
me.
from yearly goals to monthly goals, and then put little weekly things in there now. So definitely, I mean, it's like when you're a kid. Before you can walk, you got to crawl, and you just got to know where you're going so you can get up and start walking. Same way as an adult in relationships, you got to be able to plan for what you want out of the relationship and where you want the relationship to head. You shouldn't be just going at it blind, just taking it day by day. You should have objectives and things you want to accomplish while being in those relationships.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing, like I said, with us too. We had discussed about it. Once we started to get serious, I told you I wanted to be married within 3 years.
Oh, you just put me on a whole ultimatum.
It wasn't an ultimatum. I just said that was my goal. I said, I'm pretty sure we're both serious about each other. So we at the same time, we were also 27. So, you know, I was kind of, I'd rather not waste any more time than I already have. So, you know, we said that we wanted to get married, or I said I'd like to get married within 3 years, and I think it was, what, 2?
Something like that.
2 proposed, and then year 3 we were married. So, around in there. I'm still not seeing who's in here, so like I said, comment for me, let me know that you're in here, say hi. Alright, so that's commitment. Alright, so the last one obviously is love. So of course you need to have love in a relationship for it to thrive. You should. And the Greeks have 3 words for love. Eros, and I'm gonna butcher this, I didn't take Greek obviously, so Eros, which is erotic love, being attracted to one another. Philios, which is friendship, enjoying each other's company. And agape, putting the other one first. I can get it out.
Let's say sound it out.
I'm gonna get it out eventually. But you do need all 3 in order to have a happy relationship. If you have one but not the other, you're going to be lacking in some areas, obviously, and that's going to create issues. So I thought that was interesting, reading the 3 Greek words for love. I didn't know there were that many words. I guess technically there could be.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Okay. So this is the one I really wanted to talk about because I saw a post, and if I could bring it up I would, but I saw a post the other day on Facebook, and it was a girl, I can't pull it up, there's a girl who had like tattooed her whole back with something that said like, this body or this person belongs to so-and-so. Like, I mean, took submissive on a whole different level. Like, this body belongs to so-and-so. He has complete control, something, this, that, and the other, whatever. So, I mean, this is not just her back. This was all over her. Like, I I think the man's name was Dean, was like Dean's property.
Oh, God.
This, just ridiculous, right? So I decided to look it up, and I've always heard of, a wife or a woman being submissive in a relationship, and most people tend to think that that's a bad thing. I don't think it's always bad. So if you are biblical, let me bring it up here.
Should Ephesians?
Mm-hmm. Ephesians 5. Okay, so Ephesians 5:22 through 23, this is the New International Version. Wives, submit yourself to your own husbands as you do to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. So, pretty much, I mean, we see, obviously we saw it a lot, and we didn't see it, but the older generations, I would think the older generations did this more than our age group.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, a lot of people in our age group, for whatever reason, seems to think that it's just, that's not how it should be. I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man for anything. Kind of rule,
Beyonce got these people's heads. They be coming out with these songs, and people use those songs in relationship
Right.
posts and on their Facebook.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for a woman being independent, being able to do what she needs to on her own. But in a marriage, submissive in a marriage, I looked up just to be more specific, humbling and sharing your opinion with your husband or significant other. Not invalidating him, especially in public, trusting his decisions as a leader while feeling empowered to give your own opinion. I think that sounds more of a partnership than it sounds like anybody being submissive to somebody else. But at the same time, it says to being willing to let him lead where there's a disagreement, given that the leadership is responsible and just. Now, if you're in an argument and for whatever reason it turns physical, no, don't obviously become submissive. Call the police. Like that's, use common sense where common sense is needed. But, they're just needing. I mean, I don't know how to go about that. I don't know how. I guess the man would be the head of the household in a sense, or at least the head of the family.
Yeah, in the biblical sense, like you said, we did marriage counseling.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the topics that was brought up. Just, like you said, having that understanding, creating that partnership. It really comes down to communication, having those conversations as far as the roles that are going to be in the relationship and how things are going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
There's no cookie cutter answer to how marriage or how relationships should be. It comes down to communication. It comes down to the people that are in the relationship for them to be able to figure out what works best for them for different situations.
Yeah. So, and like you said, we had, and I wrote down here too, mentioned some of the stuff that we did in marriage counseling. So, and it wasn't like, obviously, we felt like we needed counseling or anything before. A lot of priests and pastors and stuff now won't marry you until you go through marriage counseling. And I've heard stories of people have gone through marriage counseling and they figured out, hey, we don't need to get married. So, it's a good thing that you figured it out then. Only thing with that is most of these are like 2 or 3 months before you get married. So there's a lot of money that you probably
to save the dates out.
I mean, that stuff gets expensive quick.
You send out a forget the date, like,
Think
we're
just
not going to go
like
through with this.
mass cancellation.
Jeez.
Just forget what we said. Take back everything. Take back the toaster. It's fine. But no. So one of the things that I think one of the first things that our Reverend had us do before was to write down a list of what we expected from the marriage, and then we had to compare our list. And for the most part, ours was pretty much the same.
And yeah, I mean, it's cool because it gives you a chance to do homework on your relationship. Go back, have a list of things that y'all two can work on that you might not have thought about. Because people are like, oh yeah, I'm getting married. You get happy. You think of all the fun things that come with marriage, but not really getting down to like the nitty gritty and the stuff that people don't really necessarily always think about that comes up in marriages. So I think it was important. I mean, it brings you closer. Like you said, it answers those questions that you might not think about just on your own, but actually having somebody else come out and just ask those things.
And I highly recommend it. And there's nothing. And I honestly thought it was going to be something like, oh, well, what did you do in your past that I should know about? Blah blah. It really wasn't anything like that. Like you said, it's more of things that you would need to know of and think about before, like finances.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And like you said, that's a big one. We see that
mhm.
a lot in relationships. I think they said that's one of like the number one things
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that ends marriages and relationships is just finances. Um, People not knowing what the other partner is bringing to the table, or not having those conversations, or knowing how to have that balance, or who's paying what bills.
Mhm. How you're gonna, if you're gonna have joint accounts, if you're not, what
Mhm.
you're gonna do, this, that, and the other. There's a lot of things with that goes into, like, I mean, but even things just as small as like holidays. How are you gonna spend holidays with the family? Because obviously you need to make time for both sides of the family. We got lucky on that point. Most of my family does stuff early in the day, and yours is
Mhm.
later at night. So, um, like when if you hear any noise, it's our dog. She's snoring under the table. I don't know why. Thank you. Hey, Crystal. And we're not by any means obviously saying that we have a perfect relationship, because we don't. There's
Huh? She's lying.
I'm not lying. There's days. There's days. But no, so like kids, obviously we don't have that yet, but you had to think of things of what we're going to do as far as kids, and making sure that they're going to be equal with each other's families, and our family is going to be a little bit more diverse as far as, I mean, we essentially have three sides.
I mean, United Nations over
We're,
here.
yeah, we're pretty diverse. But just things like that we had to go through and think about. And issues, it made you bring up issues and fears that you were afraid of in your marriage that you needed to have addressed then. So you're not taking that down the aisle, because if you're walking into a marriage with doubts and concerns, then
Mhm.
I can't say that it's gonna fail, but it's definitely gonna be a lot harder to get past it. What else do I have here? What was that? I have a whole bunch of little notes and whatnot. Oh, so like, I mean, speaking on trust, like I had, past relationships I've never been able to trust any of them, because I mean, I don't care. I'll be open. They've all cheated on me in one way or another or whatever. So, I think I keep telling you, and I've joked around, the only time that I knew that I could trust you, well, not the only time, excuse me, the first time that I knew that I could trust you was when you went down to Tennessee for your birthday. And your birthday is always a party because it's on St. Patrick's Day.
Mhm.
So I think you were going down for, like a club opening or
Yeah.
something like that.
It was a new one.
It was a new one.
Just opening up.
Right, so you were just like helping promote it or whatever. Right. So he's calling me and texting me throughout the night, whatever. He said he'd call me and text me when he got back to the hotel. And I promise you, it was good. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I get a call, hey, what are you doing? Just so you know, I'm heading back to the hotel. That, I mean, as small as that is, that was huge for me. I've never had actually somebody keep their word like that, to be honest with you. So that's where, hey, this man's in a public setting with Lord knows how many girls, and you know how girls dress when they go to clubs and this, that, and the other. And I had absolutely nothing to worry about. So even when you took me to Richmond for my birthday, 2 months after we started dating, because I had nowhere else to go, and your friends came with us. When you're in the club dancing, some girl's trying to dance with you. I look over, and all of a sudden he's just like, hands up, I'm not doing anything. I was like, all right, I'm not. I ain't got nothing to worry about with him. We're good over here. So, trust is a huge, huge, huge thing for me. I think you've done all right. You're okay.
I'm alright.
I hope so. We're married, so I hope you've done all right. Because if not, it's a little late now.
They ain't never late.
Oh, it is. So this is another game that we had bought.
You didn't even know I had it. It was a surprise. Change your story. Look at her trying to take credit. You're trying to take credit. I surprised her with this. I surprised her with this game.
You did surprise me with it. And what is it called? The and game? Is that what it's called?
Man, I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, you get those little pop-ups on Facebook for different advertisements. Things.
Yeah.
So I was on there, and then we like to just play a lot of card games, Cards Against Humanity, Uno.
I don't play Uno with you. You cheat.
Yeah. But I found this one. It was a relationship couples game that just asks questions for relationships, just to better understand your spouse, just to get a little deeper with where you are in the relationship, and just to address questions that you might not have thought of. So
And if you don't want to get card games. We looked around and stuff last night on Pinterest, and there you can just type in like, we did it before we were engaged. We typed in like questions that engaged couples should ask each other and stuff like that, and it has some of them on there about like your finances and how do you feel about this and that and the other. Like, what do you think? That, just certain things like that. Pinterest has had everything.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter what you
Pinterest
name.
they want.
It's amazing. So we're not obviously going to go through all of these, but we did want to go through just a few of them, just so you could get an idea of what the game is. If you, I mean, and if for some reason you have a hard time communicating with each other, this is a good way to kind of break the ice and get you to, like you said, open up a little bit more and learn a little bit about each other. So they've got ones like, you fill in your, you can't see it because it's so bright. You've got some that's like fill in your own question. We'll vet some of these. Let's just answer a few of them.
I think you can show them on there. You guys have to throw them.
You need to throw them on there. Well, I want you to answer them.
I ain't really want to hear.
It's not that intimate like that. What's one memory you will never forget and why? You will never forget and why.
Man, I don't know. We got a lot of memories. Probably that time we were out in Baltimore in the cold, freezing cold.
12 degrees.
Yeah. And you find out a lot about a person in freezing cold weather, and you gotta move on quick off instinct. And
you find out who your friends are for sure. Shout out to Ben for not leaving us in the cold.
I was just talking about we had to navigate in freezing cold weather and figure out how to get your car to work, and we're in uncharted territories. And
it was horrible. So
it's midnight on New Year's.
It was. So we went up there. A little backstory. We went up there for New Year's a few years ago to see a couple of our friends. And for whatever reason, my car decided like it just didn't want to work
It was so cold
anymore.
It just cut off. It was like
Couldn't get into it. Every time we tried to get into it, the alarm would go off. We couldn't figure out how to turn it off. So the battery or something died in my key fob.
Yeah.
So we had to literally run around trying to find a CVS that was open after midnight on New Year's Eve to get me a new battery, and then finally got that going. There was a man that was staring at us from his living room window. It was a whole ordeal. But yeah, that's a fun one. What's a habit of mine that you've now adopted but wish you hadn't?
Man, watching This Is Us, these cheesy TV shows, like, I don't want to watch them, but then I get caught up in the storyline and the character. Just stuff I would never watch on my own. I get caught up. And now I'm like, all right, I got to know what's going on. What's happening with Randall? Like, what's going on with these other people over here?
He's got a lot going on. He's got a lot.
I wish I wouldn't have picked these traits up.
Dad does the same thing with Mom on his soap operas. He says that he doesn't get into it, but he's, well, what happened with so-and-so? Yeah, y'all like these things. I wish I could sleep in. Now I can't sleep in anymore because of you. This is your fault. I blame you for this. Let's see. What do you think is the hardest part about being your partner?
I don't know. Having to get stuff off top shelves for you because you're little? I guess that might be it.
Well, you intentionally put things on the top shelf.
I had to buy you a step stool so to help you with these issues.
Whatever.
Yeah,
all right, the hardest part is about when you get mad and you put things on the top shelf that you think that I can't reach.
It's kind of petty.
It is petty. I don't know why you do it. It's horrible. Let's see. What do you think you still don't understand about me?
No idea. I don't know. That's a good question.
It is a good question. That's why I'm asking it.
I'll have to come back to that one.
Let's see. What's a recent thing I've been doing that's driving you crazy? it's taking you
I
this
don't
long
know.
to
You
find
picked the worst
something?
ones to ask.
This
for.
is what it
This
came
is
up
terrible.
with.
You should have picked some better ones for this.
I told you I was gonna bet you just read what's
Oh,
on
no.
here. I told you. Anyway, that's the gist of it. I was just going through a few of them just to show you how it is. So, like I said, I mean, they're pretty in-depth questions. I mean, it's fun, something you want to do. Like, we sit down, we don't have the TV on or anything like that. We sit down maybe with a glass of wine. We're just chilling, and then we'll just talk about it. And then, like you said, you know, certain things, certain cards or whatever will make you bring up past memories and think some of them are funny, some of them need to be revisited that you can talk about. It's just little things like that. Like I said, it's called the and couples edition. I don't really know. I did show them, but you can't see it with the light.
Oh, hold on,
Tilt
baby.
it.
Right there. That's it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there it is.
There
That's
it is.
it.
So you
Oh,
found
yeah.
this on Amazon?
Nah, you type it in on Google. You know, everything's on Google. He'll pull it up. Just type in the and couples games, couples card games, relationship games, and you can find that there. They got a whole bunch of other ones. That's not for couples. It's like for friends that are just a group of people around. But this was the couples edition, and yeah, check them out.
What else do we have? That's all I have. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add to it.
No, I'll come back with the stock talk next week.
Yep, we'll be back to
A lot of stuff happening in the crypto space and the markets. But yeah, we'll probably be back live on Wednesday. So we got a lot to cover from the weekly update. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay. We're going to try to start going live a little bit more than usual. We might be going, you know, here in the next few minutes as we cook our Valentine's Day dinner. I don't know. We're just trying to do random things. We haven't started the TikTok yet. I got to get it together. I've got
You said that. People keep calling like, hey, is the TikTok up yet?
That's mainly
oh,
your
when are you
dad.
going to do the TikTok? Jeez.
I know. I'm telling you, people want to see us on there. We're going to get it going. I've just got to look it up and figure out how to get the editing and all that stuff. So give me a little bit. Hopefully, if we go
You
live
telling me
on
that
Wednesday-
9-year-old kids got better editing than you do?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame.
That's terrible.
It's horrible. And I have a basically IT man as a husband, so this falls on you too. This is your fault. Anyway, once I get it up and running, we'll obviously start posting some more things for you guys. So if you haven't done anything for Valentine's Day tonight, I hope you guys have a great night. Enjoy each other.
And if you don't have a Valentine, because it's not always just about other people,
Love yourself.
self-love is important and essential as well.
Exactly. So,
Call your family, call your friends, just take a moment just to celebrate love and to let those
Reflect.
people know, hey, I love you.
Happy Valentine's Day. But I hope you guys all have a good night. Like I said, you never know. We might be going live here in another few minutes just to see how we are crazy and cooking and whatnot. I'm just trying to
You
create
cooking
content.
tonight? You cooking?
I am cooking tonight. I already had this.
Yeah, I took you out yesterday for a nice Outback steak meal.
Oh, I didn't take you out. I thought we took each other
I
out.
want a Red Lobster.
You didn't say nothing about the red lobster. That's fine. You get hibachi tonight.
Cool,
It's even better.
cool.
But you guys have a good night. We will talk to you later.